Again.
I'm Taylor.
And I'm Michael.
And this is our project. Okay, so we chose to take apart a Nerf gun for our project, just like you guys did. And that's what the Nerf gun looked like before we took it apart. And these are all the pieces. There's actually two of these. It's just like geared to it, so it just fits together. And we chose to do the research on this one and the far right.
So the Nerf gun's function is to operate as a safe weapon for kids and adults alike, really anyone who enjoys having fun. To operate the blaster, you must pull back the primer, insert a dart, and pull the trigger. It's operated in any environment that is fun and exciting, usually houses, not schools. Costs $10 to $20 depending on the make and model you want. All the blasters are made by Hasbro in Hong Kong. They're actually designed in a separate facility in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. They're all made of ABS plastic, foam for the darts, and rubber for the seals, and then steel for the screws and springs. The guns do last a relatively long time. I believe Taylor's had this one for
many years.
Since childhood.
Yeah.
The thing that can cause the Nerf guns to break is the fact that they're a kid's toy, so they get broken easily and they get thrown away.
These are just some of the sketches we did. So we actually did that part up there and this part right here. We did all our measurements and and we did the screws. I didn't know if we were supposed to or not, but we did the screws. Those are sketches. These are some of our tests. So both of them were, they didn't have continuity. They were both non-magnetic. They were both scratched on the surface when we scratched them, but it wasn't like the paint chipped off or anything. It was like a weird scratch. The mass of the smaller one was 2.3 grams, and the bigger one was 6.8 grams. The volume was 2.5 milliliters and 10 milliliters for the other one. The density was 0.92 grams per milliliter and 0.68 grams per milliliter. The surface area is a little difficult with these two because they're not exactly easy shapes to find surface area on, so I kind of just made like an estimate based on the cylinder equation. So for the first one I got 1445.4 millimeters squared, and for the second one I got 3630.6 millimeters squared. And they both didn't deform with them.
So these are our inventor parts with their dimensions, sketches, and eye properties. There's not a whole lot to say. These were difficult in the sense that we had to make these angled faces here by using extrusion, so you cut across the plane. So it's really the only difficulty. I think our eye properties matched up fairly well with what we calculated, so no issues there. So the Nerf gun is mostly made out of ABS plastic that is injection molded. They call it thermoplastic, so it's easy to liquefy and inject into the shape that you want, and it's easy to color. This allows it to be recycled pretty easily once the gun is broken, if the person owning it doesn't just throw it away. So the only easily recyclable parts are the painted screws and the steel spring. But since these are fairly robust stainless steel and a uniform size, it is easy to reuse them rather than melting them down to get a pretty bad return on investment for the amount it takes to melt some screws. So the plastic is injection molded ABS. Steel springs are actually made by feeding the blank wire into an autocoiler, which wraps it around the form it needs to take, whether that be tapered or just like length and width. So they're curled around the thing in a less hardened form, and then they temper them to give them a little more tension, so they're harder to compress, and also they don't stay bent, so they bounce back better. create the screws, the manufacturers use a process called cold heading, where it's basically the blank outline of the screw, and they feed it into a machine that cuts the threads in and cuts the shape of the head in, all in one go.
That's it.
All right.